Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperialdane, Master of Propaganda, Hero of the Reich, Defender of the Fatherland. We'll be having a 1 vs 1 right here on Langra Scale. We shall be watching HOI Paul.a.d. fighting for the Soviet Union. The 320th Rifle Division here, standing out with the defensive doctrine, the Dushka rolling out. Opposing him shall be that fiend of fiends, that Dane of Danes, Imperialdane, standing out with mechanized assault, and that's because I actually saw in his commander load-up, I noticed Soviet industry. And thus I figured if there's a chance he's gone that, I must get pretty aggressive initially, sort of trying to throw him back, and hopefully buy me some time to set up some defenses for any early armoured rushes. Hence me going pretty early on for some assault gunners, since they can push on pretty early. And right there, I do come into contact with the combat engineers, the MP40s, blasting away there, and there we go, one combat engineer already has to pay with his life. There we go, second poor sort, ending up paying the ultimate price of death. Grenadiers following up here, pioneers securing territory. And there we go, the Dushka, I'm a bit too slow in moving ahead, though of course it also is rather close. I'm actually outmaneuvering him here. In fact, if only Heinz there hadn't been a bit slower, the fat bastard, I would actually been able to outmaneuver the Dushka. So of course, little fun thing there. But again, I mean, rather risky play though from Paul.a.d. You do have to be careful about moving a heavy machine gun about like that. MG42, Dushka, or Maxim. If you do get it caught off guard, you can get into a lot of trouble. And for example, it might have been a slight chance actually would have been able to kill the crew and steal the heavy machine gun for the purposes of the Wehrmacht. Noting here, this is playing for CO, I don't know. Panzergrenadier Division Feldherrnhalle. Grenadiers moving up, points being secured here. He is spraying out, and then of course again we're noting he has gone defensive doctrine. So already now he'll also be having access to some cheap anti-infantry mines. We're talking 7 munitions, I believe, and if you get a gun, pretty much I think I guarantee to kill with one of those. And if you get a gun here, of course, that's, you know, 7 munitions for something that's going to cost 30 manpower to reinforce. You shouldn't have to be an accountant to figure out that's a good deal. Yuri, quickly, get Boris! You know, he used to be an accountant! Yes, but he was sent to the penal battalion for being an accountant. Oh, yes, that's right. Sorry.
Grenadiers here!
There we go, rushing straight for the building. Nice choice there. Of course, that's going to make it difficult for my Grenadiers to deal with them. But of course, at the same time, just, you know, go, well, you know, I could just walk around and go for the fuel point instead, drawing him into me. Assault gun is pushing ahead again once more into the name of the Fastland. And quickly actually getting a mortar out. Usually I get around a 3rd infantry squad at this point, but this time around I actually opted for the Granatenwerfer. Basically to deal with the Dushka right there. Conscripts make a run here for the Grenadiers. Looks like there might be Molotovs up. Either way, they're not looking too good for my Grenadiers, but pulling in here. I'm drawing in the conscripts for a bit longer here with my Grenadier. Doing a bit of damage there. And there we go, the Molotov. The incendiary bomb, and kaboom, or kafush, whatever. Lighting a bit of grass on fire. And there we go, mortar rounds connecting with the building. We do see the Dushka is quick to vacate the premises. The Soviet 50 caliber machine gun. Assault is moving up here versus the conscripts. There we go, noting where he drops this Molotov. He predicts where I'm heading. Good job there from Paul. And obviously my assault gunners don't think it's a very good job, since they actually get lit on fire. Suffering some nasty casualties there. I definitely got outplayed right on that spot. And Pioneers trying to flank about, though, quick to get dealt with by the Dushka. Heavy rounds piercing their frail bodies. MG42 here, but quickly going to get flanked here. Nicely done by Paul. They're going to moving up. They are getting the light machine gun as well. There we go. The Molotov, though, is pushed off the field before it is ready. Assault goes through force. Grenadiers moving up. Mortar sitting up. They're a bit too close to the front line. Grenadiers slightly moving back, trying to stay here in light cover, trying to stay away. No, I don't have to worry about the Molotov right away from this conscript squad, so they're actually a small thing here. And there we go. We actually see Molotov here on the mortar, but he might lose that conscript squad in return if he's not careful. In this case, he looks like pulling off. At the same time, as all of this is happening, he's using his Dushka pretty aggressively to begin harassing my fuel there. Nice idea. Nice idea. Counter-attack going in here from the south. MG42 and Assault Grenadiers. There's what here pulling up towards the house and actually deny it to the Soviet heavy machine gun in the future. And we also got the mortar close to up as well. But there we go. Catching them all in a lot of fire here. And we see here that Paul's conscripts are pushed away.
Capture complete!
Forcing a very large retreat from his 2 infantry squads remaining on the field. The rest have been pushed back so far. In fact, he's only got 3. And we know here Special Rifle Command is going up, so there might be something on the way here. Duska continues to push it pretty aggressively.
What do you need? That army unit has engaged
Also
us.
checking up here. He's quickly running into the house.
Yeah?
Production upgrade.
And there we go. I respond pretty quickly with ordering a mortar barrage, but also ordering my assault grenadiers to assault with grenades. In this case, actually assaulting in the entire unit, getting cleared out, and my assault grenadiers going from being not veteran at all to being almost veterancy too. That, of course, was a nice little reversal right there. And of course, assault grenadiers with their assault grenades are pretty damn good at clearing a building if you can hit the right spot. For example, right there, they were clustered around here, this end of the building, meaning, of course, not much room to maneuver in and all such. So again, the assault grenades really had a nice effect. Not to get against units out in the open again, you know, if you can catch a lot of units with it, do it. They're a bit more tricky in that regard, but again, well placed, they can end up doing an awful lot of damage. Grenadiers running into a bit of trouble, conscripts pushing ahead. Fresh Duska arriving here for Paul. He's clearly planning something with them, partly in defensive, though of course he probably hadn't quite been counting on the Stielgranate, also known as the potato masher. And also pretty much a World War I weapon. A little fun there. I believe they had actually a later model as well. Also they had some variations on it, including a fragmentation sleeve, which actually increased its lethality to infantry. But there you go, a light mechanized company up. Nothing so far though from the Special Rifle Command. He's actually not taking use of course. It might have been the Duska there getting blown to tiny bits that might have opted him to sort of delay that, instead get himself another heavy machine gun to quickly stop the fascist advance. Panzerabwehrkanone out. I mean, I'm not going to imagine, you know, he might not, you know, rush Ramen unless I'm still going to get a pack, just not as quickly as I otherwise would have. Got you running to a bit of problem with the assault grenadiers, and there we go. Nicely timed, nice little choke point here, and they do flinch. It's a bit of something I do hate happening. And of course that pretty much ruins the assault right there. Couldn't have maneuvered enough quickly enough. Mortars are opening up. Duska here storming up the advance on that side. Grenadiers moving up here. Conscripts a bit under fire. So there we go, Paul's conscripts put away. So far he's actually nicely holding most of the map, though it's obviously not without its costs. And interestingly enough, you know, despite, you know, again, holding most of the map, I'm not seeing a single mine from him. And again, I do feel that actually is a bit of a mistake, in particular considering he gone defensive. He could easily lay down some anti-personnel mines. Just basically make it a bit harder for his advantage when you need to lay down the slightly more expensive anti-tank mines. So I mean, there are some opportunities where I do feel he is not currently taking, considering his choice of doctrine.
Team.
Once more, the Granatenwerfer sings. And there we go. Getting back to one. Not any kills though, just enough damage allowed to counter barrage anyone unfortunate enough to fire near it. Lining up for a counter-attack here, the Grenadiers supporting an assault grenadier squad. It's the name of the Feldherrnhalle. Composed of Sturmabteilung, or one more specifically former Sturmabteilung. Fought on the Eastern Front in Army Group North, later in Hungary. Was later expanded into an entire corps with 2 Panzer Grenadier divisions and some other units attached to it.
You need fire support?
There was also a Panzer Brigade which fought on the Western Front, which bore the name Feldherrnhalle. Noting here the Tellermine again, figuring he might rush Rama. I'm setting up a Tellermine right around here. Good spot, though I think he could have been better right around here. More likely to actually catch something, but that's more something I just realised in hindsight. So, there. Mortar going down, conscripts roaring ahead, MG42 firing away. Catching the buggers right around there. Mortar going off, mortar continuing to fire away.
MG42 is taking.
And there we go, killing a few, accidentally setting off the Tellermine as well. Assault grenadiers flanking in, trying to get a few kills down and retreat, succeeding in fact. Achtung, and reinforcing, taking up done. And there we go, Veteran 2 giving them a bit of more armor bonus and making them roll a bit more useful. So that is nice, as we can get close enough with them. And there we go, Molotoving the pack. Of course, we are now seeing that tank with the tank command up. In this case, it really didn't do much. And there we go, once more trying to catch a few on retreat from my assault gunners. There's some other conscripts really quickly put a stop to that, followed up with a Dushka barrage, quickly suppressing my assault gunners, ending their usefulness.
Pioneers ready for anything.
So there's that to remember. But he's keeping up the pressure, and of course soon with the tank he'll definitely be able to do a lot more pressuring.
We're under attack! That's it! Fully reinforced! You have orders?
Mortars!
Mortar here, ooh, just barely in time. I managed to stop him from setting up, otherwise the conscripts would have gotten it, and that would definitely have been a rather unfortunate loss for me and Germany. And there we go, we see him, in fact, he's not going for a T-70, he's actually going for a T-34, opting for something a bit heavier, a bit more durable. Also ready to handle any armor from me a bit better. Conscripts there rushed away, assault gunners is following up.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
And right around here, I commit a bit of a blunder. But actually, time to go over here to Paul. 3 conscripts, squad, some combat engineers, of course now a T-34.
Yes, comrade.
Attacking towards here, assault gunners. Then we go to see grenading, assault grenading. Again, doesn't do that much, but because the troops spread out here. Mortaring on, and there we go. I'm actually calling in a mechanized assault group just as the tank hits, and I realise a bit. Shice. I misjudged the situation. For some reason, I figure, you know, I probably shouldn't then be expecting armor within the next few minutes. I can actually afford to call in a mechanized assault group. As it turns out, I was very, very wrong. There we go, nice hit on the Dushka. Mechanized assault grenadiers flying in there. Mechanized assault group. In their 250 half-track. And now we actually see him calling in a heavy mortar. About time. Catching the communists there on the retreat. Looks like he is reacting with the T-34 to try and deal with it, and of course trying to cut down the units on the retreat, ensuring they can't escape at the same time, of course. I'm paying a bit of attention because all of a sudden I do hear the rumblings of a tank, and I know I need to get that half-track out of there. And there we go, already down to half health there with the Panzer decided, and the Scout half-track itself has taken a bit of nasty damage. So quickly pulling that back for repairs. Troops slowly moving up. Veterans for the Granatenwerfer. Advancing on the right flank, that's good. More setting up here in reasonably nice position. We'll be able to cover a large chunk of his own territory.
T-34 ready.
And right in this case, I'm basically waiting for some reinforcement, or more specifically some pioneers to repair this thing.
Hard part will be keeping it.
Bouncing over here, noting he actually been trying to lay down some mines there, but not the anti-personnel mine, and note he wasn't actually able to finish it. Pushing over here towards the left, conscripts and the Dushka, and some additional pioneers. That looks like I might have lost the previous squad, in fact, at this point in the fight. And there we go, the assault grenadiers come under the punishing attention of the T-34. And there goes the grenadiers here coming under fire from the Dushka. Nice job there, and actually supporting his infantry advance with a heavy machine gun. Well played there, Paul. T-34 moving towards the left. And exposing himself right in front of the Panzer Abwehrkanone, taking a nasty hit there. And there we go, pioneers moving up to repair. Taking when the munitions point there, constantly pushing different angles at once. Moving in the T-34, we suspect I'm weak. This is a bit of extra damage there, and we're seeing a second T-34 on the way. Punch trick upgraded, figuring I might be able to do a bit of hit and run with them, trying to deal with the T-34 that way, thinking, you know, I might as well do the best with what I have, rather than regret that I went for it. I figure perhaps some Panzer tracks might do it, and I figure, oh right, I just did a lot of damage here to the T-34, so I'm hoping, in this case, it's only parked around here. A lot of, you know, some players have a nasty tendency again not pulling their tanks back fully enough, thus allowing me, for example, to push in and do some damage. I'm thinking he's one of those people who, again, don't quite take well enough care of their tanks. Turns out that was mistake number 2. And immediately my half-track here runs into a problem. I do get off some Panzer tracks, but not quite in the same manner that I hoped. Immediately abandon here, half-track, the half-track in fact left behind. He accidentally blows it up. And that actually ends up saving my panzer gunners, I'm pretty sure of, allowing the last two to get out of there. But just barely. So well done, even in death it still serves. Quickly following up over the Stug 3E to help punish his infantry flanking. The Sturmgeschütz Ausführung E. Getting off a few kills there on the retreating conscripts. Plus I figure if he can get it up to veterans run reasonably quick and get up some target weak points, which would help against tanks. So there's a bit of a reason for that. In part as well. So there we go. Large Kima pack here, of course there's a nice spot here you could easily flank in. And it's actually, I should have actually been mining this spot here with at least a teller mine, but for some reason I haven't.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
Going to disadvantage on the flank. Lots of light machine guns up here. Panzergrenadier receiving some reinforcements.
Area secured.
AT grenades now available to all conscripts.
And continue mortar fire here from the 120mm mortar.
Mortar ready for orders.
A very popular mortar during the war, again used by not just the Russians, but also the Romanians, the Hungarians, the Finnish, and the Germans. In fact, Germans pretty much just outright copied the design and used it themselves, produced it themselves.
The sector is at risk.
Shifting the Stug over here, getting now a second pack out, basically to help sort of deal with attacks from a bit harder to flank. Stug moving over here. Now, at the same time, it does feel like Paul is getting a bit more cautious. He's not pushing as hard as he used to. Which can be a bit dangerous. As it's giving me more time to basically prepare myself. And there we go, nice hit on the Stug. They're too bad, they bounced off. And down here, nice push up here once more. He's constantly trying, you know, to push on different angles. He's not just trying to bash his head into a wall. He's trying to outmaneuver me. He's trying to sort of find the weak spots and do some damage there, which is overall nicely played. Now you got to take up position in the house. Duska covering. And noting I'm actually shifting my pack 40 over here so I can cover this area a bit better. I'm going to push up here while I'm keeping the pack 40 here to deal with any incursions here or around here. Although again with the buildings here, he will be able to use the tank to outmaneuver my pack if I'm not careful. But noting again, he's playing extremely cautiously with his tanks. He's not making any rash decisions.
It is finished.
And now he's shifting them fully over to the left-hand side. And I do believe it's time for the mid-game analysis. Counter decision is about a 50-50 split, although probably more 55-45 split of the map in advantage of Paul at the moment. He's got about the same infantry than me. He's also got about the same amount of support units as me, in fact. Although I do have the more anti-tank guns. I mean, where he does have the advantage, of course, is armor. He's got 2 T-34s. Although, actually enough, he's now going for a mechanized armor Campania, which is actually a bit early considering all things. The Russian buildings are a bit, you know, more expensive, and of course, in that sense, you know, you have to be a lot more careful about expanding quickly as the Russians. Though again, I mean, if you can do it, you of course get some very nice combined arms things going on. Of course, on the other hand, I've only got a Stug 3E, which is not really going to cut it against even the T-34s. So things in that regard much more in his favour. Though again, I'm hoping with the pack 40s I can keep him a bit at bay, and that does really seem to have him spooked at the moment. And at this moment, one of his priorities is probably basically dealing with those pack 40s with a nice concerted assault with the tanks. Of course, in reason he might be getting this, of course, to get a Katyusha. But then again, if he's getting more artillery, he might as well just get another heavy mortar, since that will all be cheaper in terms of fuel and manpower. And of course, you could just use 2 mortars, basically that way, keeping you under constant bombardment. That would probably be more unpleasant, since of course it can even fire, you know, once it's done barraging. Plus, of course, precision strike. It's a very, very underused ability, I think, from the Soviet, but again, it can do a lot of damage if you aim it correctly. Though we also know here right now he's floating a lot of munitions, so one part is he really needs to get down to mining the map. Flare mines, anti-personnel mines, anti-tank mines, all kinds of mines, basically. Again, 7 munitions, 30 munitions again. And largely my force is composed of infantry, so of course the anti-personnel mines are definitely going to be a nice investment if utilised properly, but again, they're not quite there. So I do feel that is one mistake. Tank traps at the moment, of course, I'm not going to blame him for not using those. Same with the light anti-tank gun. I mean, it's hardly a massive armoured threat, even a light vehicle threat. But he could be using the anti-personnel mines more. And I do think he needs to get those down before I really begin packing up for a counterattack, because I'm slowly using the time where he's now actually getting a bit more passive to build up a force to actually make a move, to make an advance. And as soon as I'm beginning on the move, of course, he's going to be more on the defensive. Of course, that's going to mean I'm beginning to make more of the decisions. I'm going to begin forcing the fight. I'm definitely not going to be forcing the fight in a way that benefits him, if I can help it. So that's right there, of course, is a bit of a dangerous situation. And of course, the more he's passive, the more he's going to help me. So he needs to really get things together and counterattack. And of course, mine to sort of break up any sort of movements I make towards him. For me, on the other hand, well, I would probably benefit from more armor or more tanks and more infantry. Basically, more something that needs to be more specific direction. Of course, I could try and save up for a Tiger tank, though currently that's not really an option. Of course, trying to hold on to one of the fuel points is also definitely going to be a nice idea. The question is, do I want to hold this one or this one? I can't really hold both, and while I can probably harass one, again, trying to hold both is definitely going to extend me. So again, I need to decide where do I want to hold it in against, and perhaps, try to push a bit more aggressively now. I get a bit more of a stook, and again, I'm slightly getting things a bit more stable now. He's not quite pushing aggressively as he's used to. He's not quite going for the cut-offs as he used to, and that's giving me some breathing space to sort of collect my thoughts a bit more nicely. But I need to begin taking the fight to him. I need to begin deliver some more serious punishment. Of course, Paul needs to keep that from happening. He needs to prevent me from basically having time and troops to actually counterattack. But back to Paul and back to the fight. Peeking in here with the Stu, coming to catch someone with a high explosive round. Of course, he quickly senses this and rushes in. I pull back with the Stu. Can I take up position here? And there we go, nice Molotov, but the Stu gets a kill. T-34 is advancing. Pack 40 could stand to be a bit more forwards. Mortar runs going in there. And there we go again, noting slow but sure harassment on the right flank. Assault gun is nearby, ready to follow up. Basically using here to currently guard the Pack 40 gets anything, but of course they quickly use them to follow up on anything in case something goes wrong with that. There we see conscripts, and so the assault grenadiers are on the move. Then we also see his T-34s on the move, and a lot more engineers are.
They have flamethrowers.
So there we go.
Now the enemy has nowhere to hide.
Additional flamethrowers equipped right here for Paul. This time around, though, I dodged the Molotov. Nice attempt at catching my assault grenadiers in it. Of course, things are going to change a bit once the T-34s are around. Of course, I'm going to need to quickly now. At the same time, oh, he lost the conscript squad there to the mortar crewmen. And right there, Heinz looks very proud of himself. Yeah, I killed someone with my gun. T-34's pulling back here from the now veterans who won Pack 40. Panzer's following up as well. Basically using to sort of guard the flanks of my packs in case he rushes in with armor. And I realise now he's got the Duska covering the fuel point, and I react rather swiftly with some light infantry shoots fire. Wiping out most of the crew, for the last to escape. Continue mortar fire. Right, he's actually moved his mortar awfully close to mine, which allows me to fire back. But at the same time, the mortar crew is not really in a condition to keep fighting. I mean, basically, if anyone blew the nose in their general direction, they die.
Here.
Go T-34 moves a bit too close. Did end up losing half the Panzer Grenadier squad, which is less good, even in cover. Still was able to do some nice damage there to the T-34 Panzer Grenadier retreating. Assault goes push back a combat engineer assault on the left flank. And of course now here things are a bit more open after the Duska was forced away by the miracle of the lightest Infanterie shots. Following it with a quick Molotov, which rather ruins things for my grenadiers.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
Beginning to push back now much more aggressively. Again, he's lost infantry now, so he's got even less to cover the front when he's pulled back his T-34 to repairs as well. And you need to quickly get them repaired, otherwise again they're basically just a lumps of resources doing nothing again. That's really what's giving me the time now to push ahead. I'm actually sort of managed to buy me time to make some moves without actually having to worry about tanks, because again, where are the tanks? Oh right, they're getting repaired, and that's always why you want more units to repair tanks. So there's less time between you having to pull off your tanks from the front line to them getting back, because the longer the time is, the more time there is for your opponent to play around on the battlefield.
Grenadiers reporting. Territory secure.
Yeah?
Yes?
There we go, he
Taking fire from
locked his Molotov a bit too early. It's not, of course, my assault gun, they just won't have to worry about that.
Enemies in their sights!
Quick to follow and take the chance, though we do see T-34 quick to assist.
Standing by!
There we go, quick retreating, not wanting to take a chance getting anyone killed. And there we go, we actually see a Katyusha diving here for Paul, adding in a bit more artillery there again. I do wonder if another heavy mortar might not have been a better choice. So there we go, the rifle division receiving a bit of armoured support.
Pioneers ready for anything!
There we go, the Katyusha fires. Right there, the Grenadiers. It's a bit dangerous for me to actually hang about there. It actually looks like he put down a tripwire mine, but the Katyusha more likely to look to put that one off.
Stuck here. We have a full squad.
Red Army unit has engaged.
Once more, the Dushka now set up position in the house. Panzer is moving up here, but quickly counting a lot of flamethrowers, reminding them it's a bad idea to be there in the center. Tiger available. The Tiger is bereit. Schwerer Panzerabteilung providing support. And veteran defeat for the mortar, increasing the range further.
We are losing a sector.
And the Tiger is on the move. Achtung. Right here, I'm actually thinking about pushing the troops through here. That's not really a great idea. So I'm not actually doing it in hoping, you know, to perhaps catch my opponent off guard, which I'd admit is not perhaps the best idea. And ultimately, though, the Stuke suffers the punishment right there for my, well, pretty poor decision. Of course, the T-34 quickly end up pulling back in the face of the Tiger. And I'm quickly pulling up the Pack 40 to support it. Of course, you know, I'm still worried he might try to ram it, but at the same time, if he's pulling back, I figure, you know, I might as well see how far I can push my luck. Getting off a nice hit there on the heavy mortar. And there you go, he is indeed ramming. Only managing to shock the crew this time around, though. And of course, overall, you should generally not try to ram a Tiger from the front. You're a lot less likely to succeed than if you do it from the rear. So around that case, that worked out reasonably quite nicely for me. He's down to now only one tank, of course, what is Katyusha. Dushka continues over here, and calling in another nice little artillery barrage, in the hopes of getting revenge for my pioneers. And there we go. Deutschland prevails. This time though, he's much quicker to actually get his tank repaired, but then again there's only one really.
My crew has secured this sector.
A squad of pioneers has arrived.
Got one pack by side of the Tiger though. Also I'm keeping one here just in case again he might try to flank about and hit in the rear, in which case I've got a pack ready to sort of cover that aspect of it. Veterans with 3 conscripts, Tiger moving ahead. Continuing to fire away with all machine guns. And an Su-85 rifle here for Paul. I suspect, in fact, it might be the Su-85M, which was a slightly improved Su-85 with, I believe, better frontal armor. Otherwise, it's pretty much got the exact same frontal armor as the T-34, and this one doesn't. So I'm guessing the Su-85M, the M standing for modernized.
AT gun here.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Grenadiers reporting objective.
that improved hull was basically also the same armor of the Su-100. Which basically just slapped a 100mm gun on this. Which was also available in anti-tank gun form, by the way.
They're in the ship now!
Conscripts moving ahead.
They're throwing grenades!
I was actually thinking he would run at me, but apparently he wasn't. So that really didn't work out there for my Panzer Grenadier. Keeping my Tiger tank there, cross repair. Grenadiers here, trying to make a move here for the cutoff point, but ends up in bloody failure.
Pack loaded for panther hunting.
I'm interested he's actually moving the Tiger T-34 up the center, immediately running straight into my pack and my Tiger tank. There we go. Veterans run for the Panzerabwehrkanone. And there we go, out of control. H-35 that gets off a nice hit there.
Enemy has spotted us.
There we go, nasty bit of damage there to my Tiger tank. Country's doing what they can, and then the Conscripts pushing ahead, molotoving as they go.
You guys, listen to me if you want to live.
Here we go, Grenadiers close to getting wiped out. Definitely not good, though he probably should be moving his own conscripts within the area the Katyusha is bombarding. And there we go, he's actually getting a field gun now, so he's actually gun all 4 buildings now. He's checked forward to a field gun. Interesting time to do so by now.
Yes?
He would probably be better off with that than the mechanized armor company. Yeah, maybe. Maybe not.
Tiger ready.
And lining up to get another Tiger tank at this stage. Figuring one Tiger does alright, 2 will do even better. Panzer is in a forward position, by the way, to sort of try and block up any armoured movements, do a bit of reconnaissance. And moving ahead again, pack following up as usual to provide a bit of fire support. Going over here for the far western fuel point once more. And there go the H-35 bombarding away. Tiger tank moving ahead. Veteran 2-1. And calling middle artillery here at the edge of his base. Panzers being pinned to the ground like bugs, while the assault guys here, now veterans of 3, battled it out with the combat engineers, though with not that great a deal of success. And it looks like actually something managed to wipe out the heavy mortar crew in a more than permanent fashion.
Pack here.
You can certainly see here that Paul.a.d. is getting a bit nervous now, a bit desperate. His chances of success are beginning to look a bit limited.
We have taken it.
Light artillery barrage ready to launch.
Heavy Panzer ready for orders.
And they're actually firing a barrage from the field gun. Not hit right there on the Pioneers, but well played.
Has arrived.
And there we go, a second Tiger is arriving. And thus, my little final plan is about to get set in motion. Since I figure I have one way I could probably end this pretty quickly. Now we actually see him using his special rifle command so long into the fight. He now gets a penal battalion. I can't help but feel this is a bit too little too late. It would have been better off with that a lot earlier. Rather than now, in my opinion. H-35 continuing to bombard here, and Tiger moving, and they'll go blitzkrieging, but note, running through here. First target of the day is the Katyusha. And then I pretty much proceed to circle about here. While at the same time the Tiger moves up the front, ensuring that there's not one target. It's H-35 and field gun to fire at. And there we go, the HV5 quickly gets caught between the line of fire of 2 Tiger tanks. While the field gun, of course, tries to deal with it, but again, it can't simply. And there we go, Mortar actually got the kill. The Mortar actually got the kill. Damn. But there you go. Game over, a loss for the Soviet Union, outmaneuvered by the Feldherrnhalle. Sort of. Partly again, it's due to the fact that as the game progressed, Paul became a lot less, you know, active. He became a little less uncertain of things, and he played a bit more passively. And also another problem was really he didn't make much use of his doctor, not good use. He had the Dushka, he had the heavy mortar, but neither was really great to use extent. And again, the mines, you know, which I think could have helped him a lot when he gained that really serious early advantage, was never really applied either. So I think that was one of his major blunders. Again, that lack of aggression, that lack of, you know, wanting to find a gap he could sort of break into, deliver some damage onto me, you know, was lacking. And again, that actually gave me time to sort of slowly build up. And then once I've actually managed to pull back 2 of his tanks by just damaging enough, and again, you know, a lot of people seem to think, you know, it only counts if you destroy the tank. I mean, thing is, if you force the tank back and, you know, be out on the fight for several minutes, that's also quite well done. Because again, that's numerous minutes where you can then run around without having to worry about a tank. And of course the tank will be back, but then you might have a tank, you might have more to deal with the tank. There's all these little sorts of considerations. Again, that's why when you get a tank, you should want more than 1 pioneer unit to be on hand to repair it. 2 to 3 are about a nice deal. And of course if you have some veterans on them, that's even better. So keep that little thing in mind. It can prove quite helpful in the long run. And tank maintenance is valuable, because every minute your tank is off the battlefield is, of course, again, a minute where your opponent can do a lot of tricky things. As this match rather shows, because it was very well in those minutes where you had to force back the T-34s that I really, you know, made my play and struck back, because then I knew I didn't have to worry about covering my infantry right away, and then I could pull up some Pack 40s afterwards to cover them. So keep that little thing in mind there. Nice use of the Blitzkrieg here, if I may say so. And of course I made some mistakes as well. That mechanized assault group really was a blunder, both in just getting it, but of course following up right here. That could have been done a lot better. But again, he could have done a little more mind. He also could have made more use of the Special Rifle Command early on, a sniper or some peanuts, which would definitely have me a lot more nervous. And I'm less convinced that the Mechanized Armor Company was a good move. Definitely not for the Katyusha. He would have been off for the 2nd heavy mortar, and he probably should have gotten the 1st one earlier. In those regards, if he'd been able to just lay down a much heavier, dense mortar barrage against me, while I was more tucked up behind, you know, my side of the map, he probably would have done a lot better than just, you know, trying to catch me with the Katyusha. So little thing there to keep in mind. And of course that might also have been a bit earlier choice, you know, to get out of the field gun quicker, or perhaps, you know, some regular mortars for all I know. So those are a few of my thoughts here. Bit of a quick game because I wasn't really sure what else that was sort of interesting to put up, so I stretched up one of my own. Of course, keep sending in replays, of course. Keep sending in replays. And of course, you know, be sure to put in some valuable details, like, for example, you know, if you're ranked, where are you ranked, you know? It doesn't really matter to me if you felt, well, this was an awesome game, because again, that's your feeling, and as much as I like that, doesn't really necessarily mean it's actually a fun game to watch. So a bit harsh, but true. And it goes, I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned a thing or 2 or 3. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends. If you didn't, well, why not provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperialdane saying cheers.